Kristen here. Raph got us started with a comment already, and it's making my day, Raph. I love that you shared that with me, and it means so much. And I know it's not just me, I know it's also the other viewers, the people who you are talking with in the chat. Like, I know that this is like becoming a little community experience. So this isn't just about me, it's about all of you who are on here too and choosing to participate in the chat boxes, asking questions, responding to other people's questions, connecting with each other, supporting each other. There's a lot of spaces online to connect with other people who have severe chronic fatigue, and a lot of those places can be pretty negative, and I'm really happy that the little tiny group of people we have here are really invested in cultivating a healthy, healing mindset for themselves and sharing that with each other. Oh, there's back. Oh, you know what? I forgot my microphone. That's why. Let me grab my microphone. There, that should be better. If you can give me feedback on whether that reduces the echo, that'd be great. Make sure to lose audio. Sometimes some things happen with audio if you, change the input halfway through. I can't tell myself if my audio is working or not. All right, well, I'll just have to hope that it's working for now. Leave it up to you guys to tell me if it's not. Maybe somebody will say something eventually. Okay, so if you are watching this on the replay, welcome to the weekly Q&A on the From Chronic Fatigue to Chronic Abundance channel. My name is Kristen, and I talk about how to cultivate healing mindset on this channel. What I don't talk about here are specific treatments or supplements or like what diet you need to heal, because I myself had to heal from severe chronic fatigue on 3 separate occasions. And each time I healed faster because of the healing mindset. And I say it's because of the healing mindset because the doctors I saw, the treatments I needed, the supplements I needed, the doses I needed to be on were all very, very different each time I healed, okay? There is no one cookie cutter program for any of us to follow to get better. I'm one person that needed 3 different plans to get better each time. So that's how I know how hard it can be to be sifting through all the advice and information online about how to get better. You know, there's a million different ways people say they got better from chronic fatigue. I have 3 of my own, and that's how I know that I can't tell you what to do to get better, unfortunately. I wish that I could. I wish that there was one way we could all get better. But I tell you what, for now, it just doesn't exist, all right? Yeah. The one thing that did help me heal was cultivating a healing mindset. And that's because it helps me save energy. It turns out that there's a lot of energy that we tend to waste on mentally and emotionally. I'm realizing how weird the lighting is right now. Oh well. We tend to waste a lot of energy mentally and emotionally on frustration and stress and guilt and pushing ourselves too hard instead of resting like our bodies really need to, okay? And those things get in the way of healing and get in the way of health. And with the healing mindset, it helps us stop wasting energy on those things. And the healing mindset also gave me hope and motivation to keep going. It also changed how I interact with my doctors and practitioners, so that I finally found the people who could actually help me, and I learned how to talk to them in the right way, communicate what was going on with me, so that they understood me and believed me, and then were actually able to help me heal. All right, and through much better audio, slight echo, a big apartment with a lot of walls. So I think we're gonna have a little bit of an echo today, but I will try to figure that one out for next time. So yeah, I was talking about doctors and, oh yeah, and healing mindset definitely shaped how I approach doctors and is part of how I found who actually helps me heal and get answers. A lot of people will say, you know, if you have severe chronic fatigue, that you're just lazy or you're just crazy or you're just depressed or whatever. But what I say to that is if it really was just that simple for any of us, then we'd be better right now. Because we've all tried it all. We've all taken all the approaches and we're still not better. So there's something else going on. There's something bigger that we need to tackle. And doctors will say that there's no treatment, there's no cure if you get diagnosed with something like lupus or ME/CFS or a bunch of other like chronic illnesses that are becoming more common. And while it may be true that there is no one standard approach to healing, from my own experience and from talking with so many of you and reading so many stories, there is hope that you can recover your life and your energy and your dreams if you stick with it and find out specifically what your body needs right now to heal. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take months or years. Speaking from personal experience, but it's worth the journey, okay? Having your life back is worth all the effort, all the money spent, all the nights lying there terrified that this will be the rest of your life, okay? You can't get through it with the right mindset, because the right mindset helps shape the actions that you take, right? And the actions that we take are still super crucial. Oh, Lisa, you're back. Hello. J.A., hello and welcome. Welcome. The sun was behind clouds and it's like going in and out now. So yeah, I'm gonna have a delay on this video. Let's see, all right, Raph, you're wondering whether you're listening to too much music. I think there's such a thing. You're trying to limit it to a max, an hour, but it's hard. You're not doing 5 to 8 hours of things too. Yeah, music, there is such a thing as listening to too much music. Music may not be restful for you for a couple of reasons. Like if you're having an especially low energy day for you, you're going through a crash, processing sound takes energy and it can be fatiguing. That's why travel can be so especially fatiguing for us. Because when you're on the highway, you have the noise of the road and you have music on and you have GPS going and people are talking and there can be horns. Or if you're on an airplane, just that constant like engine noise in your ears can fatigue you. Just literally sitting there doing nothing, just hearing noise can be exhausting. Now, it doesn't mean listening to music is always going to be fatiguing for you. On better energy days, it may be something that you can tolerate for long periods of time. The volume at which you listen to music could have a big impact on how long you can listen to it. The quieter you listen to it, the easier it is for your brain to actually listen to that, and you can actually do it for longer on some days. So it's the kind of thing where like, I don't think it's a yes, no, all or nothing kind of answer. I think you can listen to music every day if you want to, but I would really be careful and pay attention to how much energy you feel you have that day and the volume at which you're listening to the music. And, you know, I would also pay a little extra attention and see like how much the complexity of the music impacts your levels of energy. Like maybe listening to orchestra, there's so much going on, there's so much detail in that process that may be more fatiguing for you. Something simpler, maybe easier to listen to. Or actually, this is actually something I found for myself. If you listen to instrumental music versus music with vocals, the vocals can actually make music harder to listen to and a little more fatiguing. So if you're listening to something without any vocals, you may be able to listen longer. All right, so it's something when you just kind of got to test it out for yourself, try it out for yourself, pay attention how listening to that music leaves you feeling after a time, and pay attention to volume and complexity of the music that you're listening to. But I think music is a great way to pass the time, especially if it helps us create some of those feel-good emotions that we used to get from doing things more than just listening to music. Oh, so Lisa has tinnitus and you have to have like a fan or music on low, you need that background music. So that's something where like you have this additional layer of, you know, I don't know that I want to call it disease, but this additional layer of like symptoms to manage, and that's something that you just need to cope with. You used to listen to loud rock and roll, but then I don't want to tolerate a song or two, great, because rock and roll tends to be like really energetic music, and listening to energetic music can make a normal person feel energetic and good, but we don't always have that energy to give when we feel that way, and it's super exhausted. So one thing I started to listen to a lot of when I was sick actually was like instrumental techno or like really chill like house beats music because it's so relaxing. So at least like you're taking piano lessons. That's so cool. Like, are you on a keyboard? Or are you on like a real piano? Like, what kind of music are you playing? I have so many questions. How is it? Are you like sitting up and doing it? Is it like, is that the kind of energy you have? That's really cool. Let's see, Raf, not all music is the same. All music that you like gives you energy, but especially hard music like trap or rap makes you tired. I think it's the adrenaline. It can definitely be adrenaline, you know, like things, like I feel like things that give up energy can actually leave us feeling way too exhausted. Oh, JA, well, yeah, you know what? I really want to comment on what you said, that you used to play piano and you had to let it go for now because you're in the healing process. And it's so hard to let go of hobbies and things that we love to do because of our health, but it's a really beautiful thing that you set your priorities. Like, as much as you love playing piano, recovery and health is up here, and you've accepted that. And that sort of acceptance is actually a really healthy thing, because playing piano is probably contributing to your health, or at least preventing you from getting any better, or perhaps making it worse. I don't know what your journey's been, where you're at. But yeah, getting healthier and retaining as much energy as possible is your number one priority. So I really want to applaud you for making that really hard decision. It's not fun, it's not pleasant, there's no silver lining to that. But I think it's really, really great that you've come to that conclusion for yourself and doing the hard work of giving up something that you love in order to heal. Yeah, one of many, many sacrifices for now, but it doesn't have to be that way for always. There could be a lot of hope to find out what your body actually needs to heal. I'm feeling called to talk a little bit more today about what I needed to heal and how I discovered what I needed to heal. If you guys are interested in that, just like let me know in the chat box. If anyone's interested in hearing more about that, I will talk about it with the caveat that the exact things I need are probably not the exact things you need, but it's more about the process of finding what I needed and where to look and how to look that I would talk about. So let me know if you're interested. Let's see. All right, Lisa, you got the Kimball upright console acoustic. He's on the bench. He doesn't have a cushion. Yeah, Jay, I'll play piano again someday. That's a really nice spot, Lisa. Let's see. All right, let's see. I feel like, okay, Ross says yes. Tell us about that. Okay. So the process of finding what I need to heal is not a normal process that I follow. It's not what most people do, all right? And I will say I started out doing what most people do, and here's what most people do. Most people go to a doctor, say, oh, I'm really tired, I don't feel good, I can't walk. I sleep all day. I'm sore, I can't work out, blah, 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 right? And the first time you see a doctor for that, they're like, okay, well, just sleep more and stress less and, like work out sometime, better, and maybe done everything. And you do those things, and you probably get worse. And you go back and you say, doctor, I did what you told me to, and things are getting worse. And they're like, oh, you really aren't doing it enough. You just need to do it more. You just need to stress a lot less. You just need to stop being so lazy. Here's some antidepressant medication, right? And then maybe you start looking for more specialists to get second opinions, or maybe some who maybe specializes in endocrinology or something like that. And you go see them, and they do some blood work on you, and they're like, well, we tested everything, and you're fine, I can't find anything wrong, so you're fine. And you go, I'm really not fine. And they're like, well, your blood work, we did all the blood work, and you look fine to me, so, we can't help you, right? If you went through something like that, I don't know, put a little something in the chat, because that was definitely my experience, the first, 10 or so doctors I saw. And at that point, people tend to get discouraged. People tend to give up on doctors, or they just keep going to see more doctors and they keep getting the same result, the same response. And it's very disheartening, it's very exhausting, and sometimes it's very expensive, it's very time consuming, and it's very demotivational. And I think the most dangerous part of that cycle is how demotivational it can be for people. Yes, Lisa says, the blood work is always fine, right? All right, sound is not, the sound is really that bad today? All right, sorry it's so bad today, guys. I'm not sure how today is different, but with the nature of the live stream, I don't want to end it, because then I have to somehow send out a new link to you guys to attend the new live stream. I don't have a way of doing that. So bear with me. I'm going to try to sit closer. Maybe the laptop isn't using the microphone. Maybe it's using. Actually, let's see if I'm going here. The audio setting real quick. I'm not sure if it'll let me. Put external microphone. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's not showing me any feedback or anything. I'm not sure why that's happening. Sorry about the bad audio today. Let's see. Oh, it's okay now. It was echoing. It's sounding like someone else talking in the background. Okay. Okay, maybe I unplugged and replugged in the microphone, Tech support 101. Turn it off and turn it back on. Or unplug it and plug it back in. Let me just cut on the comments. Yeah, smaller room of blankets next time can help the echo. Yes, it can. I've sat in the spot before and it seemed like the audio was okay, so I'm not sure what's different about today, but I won't sit here next time. I'm glad it's better now. All right, so that's the standard process people go through when they first get ill. They see doctors, maybe they go see some more specialists, and either they just stop seeing doctors or they keep doing it, but either way, they're fed up and they feel like they've wasted all this time and effort and they have no answers. And the really dangerous mindset of demotivation sets in, and they really start to believe that there's nothing that can be done for them. And there's no hope. The doctors say this, the doctors say that. Or another path that I also went down was the path of misdiagnosis, where you go in and they say, oh yeah, well, okay, your blood work's not showing anything, but you know what, I'm pretty sure it's this thing over here. So we're just gonna give you this label, and then maybe we're gonna go down the treatment path or this label that we gave you, like any CFS isn't a diagnostic test, it's just a collection of symptoms. And I say, oh, you have this collection of symptoms, so we give you this label, all right? It's not the result of a test, it's just doctors giving you a label, and people say, oh my God, I have this thing, there's no treatment, there's no cure for it, I'm doomed. I need to get the word out there and get people to start researching this and give money to researching this because it's the only way I'm going to get better. Not true, okay? At least not for many of us. You know, my misdiagnosis was they diagnosed the fatigue and difficulty breathing as asthma. So for 6 months, they were putting me on stronger and stronger asthma inhalers because the ones they put me on did nothing to help. I kept getting sicker and sicker. After 6 months, I was on steroid inhalers, on a nebulizer every night. It did nothing to help me. It was an awful experience. So here's what you can do differently, and here's what part of that healing mindset helps me do. It helps me realize that I wasn't the problem. My health issues weren't the problem. As much as the doctor made me feel like I was the problem, and that my health issues are what was bizarre and bad and wrong about me, it's not true. The really bad part of that system is how bad the doctors are when it comes to people who have symptoms and illnesses that they don't understand. What I think doctors should be doing when they have a patient like me or like you coming to them and they don't understand what that person is going through, I wish they would say, I don't understand what you're going through. I haven't been trained to help you with your specific set of symptoms. I'm not sure what to do. I'm sorry, I wish I did. Okay? Acknowledging their part in being unable to help me. That they don't know what tests to run. Okay? They're not finding anything in their blood work because they're not running the right blood tests. Not because I'm fine, right? They need to stop putting the blame on you and me, stop making us the problem in that scenario, and once they can acknowledge that they can't help us simply because they weren't trained on this, the end result for the patient is such a more positive and uplifting one, because then you say, oh, this person can't help me, not because there's anything like wrong with me being sick, like I'm sick and that's what it is, and I deserve help just as much as anyone else. I can't get help because they don't know what to do for me. And then you say, okay, well, how do I find the person who does know what to do for me? Because those people are out there, and there are many of them, but they are out there. I mean, let's say percentage-wise, it's small, but number-wise, of course, there's, who knows, I'm sure like 5-6 figures of them out there in the world. And I would say, unlike most people, I just had this belief inside me that I just wasn't seeing the right doctors. So I kept looking for the people who were the right people to help me heal. And it was only because I chose to look for them that I found them. Because the people I found who actually helped me heal were not part of the mainstream. They're not easily found. I couldn't go onto my health insurance provider's website and look them up under my specific conditions because they operate differently. They operate outside the standard system. And for health issues like ours that are poorly misunderstood, we need to go outside the conventional system because the conventional system does not understand us. Should they? Yeah, I think so. The fact of the matter is that they don't. So over the years, I've worked with people who are online health coaches who actually aren't doctors and had not gone to med school, but were people who had lived through really severe chronic illnesses like severe chronic fatigue, lupus, things that never got diagnosed, and they got better. And they became so passionate about helping other people discover these answers for themselves, so they became health coaches. Share that information. Now, not just any health coach is going to be able to work with a patient like us. You really need to find the ones that specialize in this and have results in this area already at helping people with these specific types of health issues that accompany severe chronic fatigue. It does take a lot of research. It takes some interviewing. You've got to know up front that not every person who does these things is going to be the right person for you, okay? And you've got to treat this kind of like if you were shopping for a house, you know, if you had like a year to find a house, you would, and you knew that you're going to be living in this house for the next 10 years, you would take some time to look at a lot of different houses before picking one, right? And it's unfortunately it's kind of like that with these health issues. Like we are looking for someone to lead us on a healing journey for the next year or two. We need to put some time into making sure that we find the right person to help us get there. So that's really, really important. And I would say do not assume that anyone who's a health coach is going to be good to help you, but there are a few people out there like that who can and who did help me on my journey. I have also found doctors who do accept health insurance, which is important here in the US, who have been able to help me heal as well. So it doesn't have to be entirely out of pocket. It doesn't have to be, you know, this huge amount of debt you have to go into to see some of these doctors either. It doesn't all have to be fully out of pocket. Some of it can be covered by health insurance. So I think that's what I want to say today around the whole doctor situation and finding right people to help you on your journey, because we do need other people to help us. I don't know anyone who's healed from this who hasn't had a good amount of external help. Okay. Online research, I don't know anyone who's gotten better from this purely from their own online research. I wish it were that simple, but I haven't seen it. Let's see. All right, I see Ralph has some questions in the chat. I will get to that after I finish on this topic. Just to anyone else who's on, you are welcome to pop your questions in the chat anytime you want, and I will get to them in order, topic by topic. So just go ahead and pop those in there whenever you feel like it. Another really important part of how I got better, how I discovered what my body needed to heal was like I just said, like first finding the right people for me to work with. And I did that by mostly just searching online. Like, there are places online now where people are building databases of doctors who are effective at helping people with poorly understood chronic health issues. And I found a few of those databases. Those helped me find people. I also found people just from like randomly scouring the internet. I wish I had like one place I could tell you to go. You'll definitely find an amazing doctor. I can't because it's so personal. But I want you to know that looking for that person is a great way to spend your time when you have a little bit of energy to do so. And then the whole blood work thing. So I was talking about how, like, you know, initially I saw these doctors and like, oh, we did like all the blood work on you. Like, oh, we did everything. But no one's done everything. Okay? I promise you, if you're just seeing mainstream doctors, even like mainstream specialists, they are not really doing everything. They're doing everything that they know to do, everything that they've been trained to do, but that clearly isn't enough for us. If it was enough, we'd all be better by now. So we'd all have our root causes figured out. The type of blood work that I've had done that actually has helped me heal, like I get pages and pages of like I get like dozens and dozens and dozens of things tested every time I get blood work done. I will get anywhere from like 15 to like over 30 vials of blood drawn in one sitting to get blood work done, because my current doctor tests so much. He tests way more than any standard doctor even thinks about testing, because these standard doctors haven't been trained in how to interpret the results. Like, even if I took the blood work from my doctor who helps me now and gave that to a normal doctor, the normal doctor would not know how to read most of what's on that. He would not know what are healthy numbers, what are not healthy numbers, what's indicators of disease, what needs to be addressed and what doesn't, okay? My doctor, in addition to being a licensed doctor in the state of Pennsylvania and going through classical medical training, has also made it a priority of his to do additional study, to look at the latest cutting edge research, to network with other doctors who specialize in poorly understood diseases, to find out what they're using to actually help their patients. you know, like it's my doctor's drive to find out what actually helps people that leads him to find what blood work to do, how to interpret those results, and then what do we do about the results that we do get, all right? So there's a lot of pieces here, a lot of information that most doctors just don't have. So, you know, to give you an example, I'm gonna list off a few tests I've had run that I would put money on, probably none of you have done on yourselves before, even though the doctors have told you they've done everything. If you want to write this list down and like go look and see if you had these tests done, sure, cool, great. You can do that if you want to. I'm not saying you need these tests. So I don't know if you do. You might need tests I've never had done. I don't know, but you need to find a practitioner who can help you do that. I've had tests done, like checking on my halide levels. So halides are a set of elements that are in one column of the periodic table of elements, and these are very chemically similar elements. They are like iodine, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and a couple others. And they're important because, like, iodine, for one, is an essential, is it a mineral, vitamin, mineral? I'm not sure what iodine is, but it's essential for healthy thyroid function and just to be a healthy person. We all need iodine to be healthy, okay? And what can happen is that a lot of us are actually slightly deficient in iodine. We actually don't get enough iodine for our modern diets, which is really fascinating. You can read all about that like I have and go down this whole rabbit hole, and it's super interesting, but I will summarize this and say, we need iodine and most of us don't get enough of it. And when we don't get enough iodine, but we have other halides in our body through environmental exposure, through our diets, because these atoms are so chemically similar that they can actually take the place of iodine in the body. So you can have like chlorine from tap water in your body where iodine should be. You can have fluoride molecules from toothpaste and water in our body where iodine should be. We can also have bromides in our body where iodine should be. And bromides are everything. They're, in the past like 50, 60, 70 years, like the presence of bromides has gone from like 0 to like kind of a lot on a daily basis. We get it from eating breads. It's used in the bread making process. We get it from exposure to certain plastics. There are actually some over-the-counter medications that contain bromides in them. And because I got my halides tested, we saw that I actually had bromide toxicity. Okay, it's something no doctor had ever tested me for before. And that's what a huge symptom of bromide toxicity is: severe fatigue. So the cool thing about having bromide toxicity, that it's very easy and cheap to treat. They've known since the 50s that to treat bromide toxicity, you just need to take salt. Consuming an extra like 2 teaspoons of table salt every day, like I have a teaspoon in the morning with water, a teaspoon at night with water, and then normal like salt on my food. The extra salt in the bloodstream actually helps clear out the bromides. All right, so like figuring out my bromide toxicity didn't cure me all the way. It wasn't the only issue I had going on in my body, but it helps give me back that much more energy every day, right? So some other tests that my doctor ran that no one else ran that were really important for me were fatty acid tests. Okay, so fatty acids are absolutely critical for normal brain function and for healthy living. And they are like omega-3s, omega-6s, omega-9s. And we've all heard about omega-3s from like people who are taking fish oil. There's a lot of omega-3s in certain fatty fish. We hear a little bit about omega-6s because a lot of polyunsaturated fats have a lot of omega-6s. Modern diets tend to be pretty low in omega-3, pretty high in omega-6s. And that can throw off your health just from having wrong ratio of fats in your diet. Omega-9s are also super important for life. And it turns out that across the board, all of my omegas were critically low. Like I was severely depleted in omega fatty acids. So once we started getting more of those 3s and 6s and 9s into my diet, and also helping support my diet to digest foods properly and actually extract great nutrients from my diet, those numbers started to shift in the right direction, and I started to feel a little bit better as well. So like those were critical things that were going wrong with my body that no doctor had tested, even though they kept telling me to test everything, and I'm fine, all right? The only reason I had my bromides tested and my omegas tested is because I found this doctor who specializes in uncommon cases like me and like you. And he knew to look at these things. He knew to look at these things because he's been educating himself about modern research that wasn't taught to him in med school and isn't taught in med school today either. So that's why finding the right practitioner for you is super essential, because they're gonna know what to start looking for in your case. And my doctor didn't just randomly test me for these things, all right? He doesn't test everyone who comes into his practice for these things. He had an exhaustive questionnaire. I mean, ridiculously exhaustive, like 5 pages or something. And had, been talking to me about my symptoms and really trailing into things and trying to figure out what area of my health to dig into first, all right? And based on getting to know me as a patient over multiple sessions first, and calling upon his own experience and helping others heal, he knew where to drill in first. Where can we find the big wins? Where can we get feeling better the fastest? What tests we need to do? What do we do with the results when we get them? All right, and those are just 2 of the dozens and dozens of tests that this doctor has run on me that no one else ever has, okay? So I'm sharing those as examples, not saying that you need to get this test, not saying that those are what's wrong with you, but just sharing them as examples of what finding your right doctor can do. All right, Raph, I will come back to the parasympathetic nervous system thing in a little bit. Oh, Raph, I love an old friend texted you out of the blue and wants to meet up. It's so beautiful when your network does that. So happy for you. Oh, Raph, you're asking if you should risk boring him or wait a couple months until you feel better. That's a really negative way to look at it. It's a really kind of like you're dismissing yourself as if you have anything to contribute to the conversation. I wouldn't think of it as potentially boring him. I would look at it as an opportunity to catch up on what's going on in his life. It doesn't have to be about you talking the whole time. Sometimes really great conversations happen when you just ask a lot of questions about the other person. And if he asks you questions you don't feel like talking about it, you can just be honest and say, hey man, there isn't a whole lot going on in my life right now. I'm a happy person, like I have all the things that I need in life, but maybe you can say that, I don't know, I'm just trying to come up with something. And off the top of my head, I don't think that's a great thing to say. But you can just kind of say like, hey, I don't have a whole lot going on, and I'm just really happy to see you, and I love hearing about what's going on with you, and then move the conversation back to him if he, tries to change things around. Like it can still feel really great for the other person to get to share when someone is asking lots of genuine questions. So like, I hope you do get together with that person soon, and just try to flip that and reframe it as an opportunity to really hear about what's going on with them, and to get to show them how much you care by really asking a lot of great questions. That's what I would do. Yeah, I wouldn't live in your bubble. I mean, when someone reaches out like that for one meetup, definitely sounds like it's worth it, because I know that you shared here that you've been struggling with loneliness, like so many of us. So this is your opportunity to get out there, and don't think about it as being you having nothing to talk about. It can be you showing how much you care about them by asking lots of questions. All right, Raph, iodine is a mineral / trace element. Okay, so here's a misconception. Let's share a little bit of iodine knowledge. We currently classify it as like a trace element, something you just need like a few milligrams of. But actually, some of the healthiest people in the world, some of the longest living people in the world, which are over in Japan, they actually eat like micrograms. Oh wait, I used to know this off the top of my head. The dosage of how much iodine consume. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, the recommended daily intake of iodine is 150 micrograms per day for most adults. Whereas the healthiest, longest living people in the world, as supported by science and just longevity of their lifespans, are actually consuming on average 100 times that every day. All right, they're actually consuming like 12 or 13 milligrams of iodine each and every day. So like it's one of those things where like we treat iodine as like a trace need, but actually it's not so trace. And the healthiest of us, we're getting lots more of it. And it's actually iodine, something I actually continue to supplement with to this day, because that was another test no doctor ever did on me, but it turns out I was severely deficient in iodine, severely deficient in iodine. That was another big bump in my energy when I got that iodine deficiency treatment. Oh, interesting. Vitamins are molecules that function as coenzymes. I did not know. So what causes bromide deficiency? Yeah, what caused the bromide toxicity? It's really hard to say. The bromide toxicity in my case is probably a combination of me being severely iodine deficient for a long time. So I did not have enough iodine in my body. So there were a lot of opportunities for bromides and fluorides and chlorine to attach to those same iodine receptors in my body and accumulate that way. So, you know, as much as I said that like just taking in salt is a great way to treat bromide toxicity, it's true. But in my case, I also needed to be supplementing with iodine. I'm taking 12.5 milligrams a day for a long time. And taking more iodine allowed my body to say, oh, we have iodine again. We're going to kick out the bromides and the fluorides and the chlorine, and we are going to replace it with actual iodine. Okay, that's a tricky process because you're retoxifying your bloodstream, like you're detoxing the bromides from other parts of your body, but it has to go into your bloodstream before it gets out of your body. When it's in your bloodstream is when it can do a lot of damage and cause a lot of fatigue. Okay, so it's really tricky, like balance of like detoxing bromides, not too much, not too fast. But then also wanting to reestablish my iodine levels, but not too much and not too fast. So it was a big balancing game, and I need to support my body through that process. Yeah, I mean, we can't know where the bromides came from. Like, we don't know if it all came from my diet. But honestly, it probably didn't really come from my diet because I've been eating pretty clean. Like, I didn't, like, bromides aren't just gonna come from any bread. They're typically from industrially produced packaged bread products from the store, which is not something I've ever really eaten much of. It was probably more environmental, like on receipt paper or certain plastics, or if you buy some new furniture, they tend to be doused in bromide. I think bromides are heavily present in flame retardants. So if you're just sitting on new furniture, sleeping on new furniture every night, you can be inhaling bromide, and if your body's not properly processing that and detoxing it, it can build up and cause toxicity. So like, personally, I think it was more of that environmental furniture factor. I'd also been working in a brand new skyscraper since 2008. So I'm sure that the rugs and the chairs and the cubicles and everything else in that building have been outgassing bromides and other things I don't even know about for years and years while I was working in there. It's depressing thinking about it. But like I said, it's just a guess. That's my opinion as to where it came from. Let's see, Lisa tested vitamins out of pocket. Yours were all optimal. Link was high. You ever taken coldies? Your omegas were optimal. That's great. Your citric acid was low. You know what? Citric acid is super important, and it's something that's relatively inexpensive to treat. Like, I still take high doses of vitamin C every day. I used to take exceptionally high doses of vitamin C every day under the supervision of my doctor, which I don't know if Jack's on here, but Jack knows a little bit about that. I've talked about that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, just taking vitamin C supplements. Like, I currently take like 3-4 grams of vitamin C a day right now. I could be taking more, but that's where I'm at right now. Let's see. All right, got some more trolls, so I'm gonna record you. Cool. And then I'm going to put that. Goodbye. That I do. You have some iodine pills in case a nuclear disaster happens. Should you try them? That's, you know, I'm not a doctor. I don't have medical training. I am not qualified to tell anyone to take or not take anything. Well, I'm saying not to take something, but I can't tell you to take something. So I'm not going to say whether or not you should take them, but what I can do is share some information I have around that, which is there are actually, like, okay, background, iodine is critical for thyroid hormone. Thyroid hormone is actually referred to as like T3 and T4, the primary thyroid hormones that we talk about. And the numbers designate the number of iodine molecule or atoms attached to the molecule. Okay, so T3 has 3 iodine atoms, T4 has 4 iodine atoms. Okay, that's how central iodine is to thyroid hormone and the function of the thyroid, which is to regulate our metabolism in every single cell of our body. Every single cell in our body has a separate thyroid hormone. That's how critical and important and essential iodine is. So, as necessary as it is, there are actually doctors who specialize in treating people with thyroid issues who warn against ever taking any iodine. There are doctors who actually say no one should ever supplement with iodine because we've seen so many patients have problems with it. All right, and the problem is, from what I've learned and experienced firsthand, and also what I've learned from other doctors, is that the problems can arise when people take iodine without properly supporting their bodies with detox reactions that may be happening, okay? Because, like, in my case, it seems like supplementing with iodine is kicking out the bromide detox. Whenever you take iodine, it can cause that type of reaction, or it can cause other negative reactions in your body if you're not supporting that process properly. So, like, you know, in my case with the bromide detox, I needed to be taking a lot of salt, I needed to be taking a lot of vitamin C, and there were other things I needed to support my body through that heavy bromide detox while reestablishing my iodine levels. And without that kind of knowledge and that kind of supervision and the understanding of the different problems iodine supplementation can cause and how to mitigate those problems, people can have very bad experiences. I mean, I've even read firsthand stories of people attempting to supplement iodine on their own without doctor supervision, and they felt like it kicked off a whole new set of health issues for them. So, you know, it's kind of like a loaded gun. It can be used, you know, a loaded gun can be used to defend yourself, or you can drop it and you can shoot yourself in the leg accidentally, or, like, you know, anything can happen with it if you're not trained to handle it properly. So, you know, if there were a nuclear disaster, we've got to look at our options here. You know, if there's a pretty high chance of us being exposed to radioactive iodine and then suffering from radiation poisoning, versus we take some iodine and maybe have to deal with some detox issues, maybe not, you know, you kind of gotta see see where you fall on that scale of risk and benefit. I mean, if nuclear fallout were to happen, I'd probably get my dose of iodine as well, regardless of the detox consequences, because radiation poisoning seems a lot worse, a lot less treatable. But without the risk of nuclear fallout, I would have to say you'd want to work with a doctor who understands the implications of iodine supplementation and supports iodine supplementation in their patients and work with them to do that. You'll want to be properly monitored if you go that route. Okay. And I know there's a question to come back to as well. We're coming up an hour already. It's blown by. Yeah, Lisa, you talked about this before. You make kidney stones, you can stay away from vitamin C. Oh, vitamin C is said to create kidney stones. That's so interesting. I never knew that. Yeah, it's going to be really hard to get enough citric acid in if you can't be taking vitamin C. Or salt. Salt contributes to kidney stones. Yeah, that's the kind of thing where, like, I always feel like the right doctor knows what to do about that and how to address the kidney stone issue, the kidney stone formation issue. But that's just me being that way. I wouldn't know who to talk to about that. Well, the problem is when our bodies start to become disordered, there are cascading issues, right? Like I was never diagnosed with this, but from my own experience, I had all the symptoms of POTS. POTS is really common in people with ME/CFS and other fatigue-related health issues. It's called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And you can read about like all the symptoms on your own, but like a major one is that you can just be sitting or lying down, and then when you stand up, all of a sudden your heart rate skyrocket. You can get severely fatigued. You can have to like lie down for like hours at a time to recover your energy as well as a more natural simple heartbeat. And that was a symptom of my body being imbalanced. I never actually had to treat that specific illness. I had to treat the other underlying issues. Once I treated the underlying issues, higher level issues like the POTS disappeared naturally on their own. So, working with someone who understands the cause-effect relationship between different health issues and knows what's a root issue and what's more just like a general symptom of root issues is super helpful, because then you're targeting the core of the problem. And when you really get to the core of the problem, you'll see a multitude of issues clear at the same time. It's really great that way when you find someone who knows this. Yep, and we absolutely, so we are all different. We should get tested and find the right person to work with us. Lemons and limes are okay for you. Interesting. Although you're almost never going to get as much vitamin C from lemons and limes as you do from like a vitamin C pill. You'd have to eat. I did the math once. I want to say you'd have to eat like hundreds of lemons a day to get the kind of vitamin C that you can get out of vitamin C pills. It doesn't even compare. Let's see. Oh. Let's see. Okay, Raph. I have two of your comments to come back to. Lisa, yes, you have POTS. Your son does too. Oh, POTS symptoms are improving. Some days you barely have it. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. And I feel like I've seen that in a number of stories where POTS just seems to be like a higher level symptom and not necessarily something that needs to be treated, but POTS tends to be, from what I've seen, an indication that there are deeper issues to be addressed. So it sounds like you're getting those deeper issues. Yay. Let's look up real quick citric acid in lemons. The last time I did this, let's see. All right, real quick search saying that if you had a whole liter of lemon juice, there'd be 47 grams of vitamin C in that. It's going to take a lot of lemons to take a liter of fresh lemon juice. I personally actually used to take more than 47 grams of vitamin C a day, so I would have had to drink more than a liter of fresh lemon juice to get enough vitamin C that way, which is just never gonna happen. So I was on lots of pills for that. I'm really more interested in like citric acid in one fruit. I should probably go to like a nutrition calculator for that. Let's see. Interesting. Okay, I'm finding conflicting things. I don't know how much citric acid is in the lemon right now. I have to do a little more research on that. But if it works for you and your citric acid levels are getting back to normal and healthier, Lisa, then just saying it. Like this is kind of what I'm saying. We all need different things. What you're saying as well. Like maybe the lemons and limes are enough for you. They weren't for me. Maybe they are. I don't know. I need a lot less vitamin C than I used to, which is cool. JA, you did some private tests. You found really high levels of zirconium. Interesting. Oh, and it was an ingredient in your deodorant. I don't know what zirconium does. Let's see. They can cause irritation, they can cause corrosive injuries. Interesting, zirconium can definitely be harmful in high levels. See, it's terrible, like, you know, you use your deodorant and I'm sure there's a tiny amount of zirconium in the deodorant and everyone says like, oh, there's a healthy amount of zirconium in there. It's not gonna cause a problem for you in that low dose. But then you use the same deodorant for 10 years and you get that little bit of zirconium you're absorbing every day for 10 years, and all of a sudden you can have a toxicity issue. This is why we need like long-term testing for all this stuff, because you don't know the long-term effects. And maybe not everybody absorbs zirconium like we do, but it's clearly an issue for you. So I'm glad you found that. I'm glad you got those tests. Just another example of how most doctors do not test for very good, despite the use of that word. All right. So, Raph, really bad idea for week number 2. Will you ask your crush to help you move? You've asked some neighbors, they replied supportive and positive. Raph, okay. A, I'm so happy you're asking for help from your neighbors, all right? That's an amazingly wonderful thing to do for yourself and a great way to leverage your community and build some more of that rapport within your community. Like, moving is really hard, for sure. No one likes to do it, but it can be definitely a bit of a bonding moment when everyone does something really hard together. But you can show your gratitude for everyone at the end of it. So happy that you're doing it this way. And also, do you ask your crush? I mean, like, why not? She's one of your neighbors. At this point, you can be like, oh yeah, neighbor A and neighbor B are already helping me out, you know, so maybe there'll be other people there that you know, and like, I'm just looking for extra help. The more people we have, the easier and faster it's gonna be. And you don't say, and we'll need to spend more time together. So I think it could be a great idea. I mean, just don't make the day about her, of course, but just use it as a way to spend more time with her and get to know her better. I think you're onto something here, Raph. I think you're like, I don't know, just from what you said today, it really sounds like you're coming around to this idea of like more community and asking for help and just talking to people more. And I don't know, I feel I hear more opportunity. If you're seeing more opportunity these days. And I hope that's true. And if it is, I'm really happy for you. All right, so it was definitely a question from Raph up here. Yeah, we're just about on an hour, but I will hit the parasympathetic nervous system. So I know I've talked about the parasympathetic nervous system in the past. For those of you who don't know, it's the part of our nervous system that is all about rest and digest, okay? It's our relaxation kind of network within our body. It sends signals of relaxation, and it tells our body to digest food. And we have to be in parasympathetic dominant mode in order to really extract all the nutrients out of the food that we're eating. Okay, it's a really important part of a normal, healthy, balanced life. Okay, and the sympathetic nervous system is our fight and flight nervous system. It's our adrenaline. It's what says go, go, go. It's what says use nutrients up really fast because you got to get things done. Okay, and modern life has us in sympathetic mode way too often, and it can leave us not only feeling depleted and burned out, but literally depleted nutrient-wise, because we're just burning nutrients constantly, and we're not letting our body get into that space where it's fully digesting and fully absorbing the nutrients from the food that we get. So we can be consuming really good things, but if our bodies aren't in the right state of in the right mode, we're not going to be really optimizing how much that good stuff we get out of our food. And when it comes to healing, we need to be in parasympathetic mode for our healing systems in our body to really fully kick in and be optimized. So it's super important to be in parasympathetic mode when we have really severe health issues like severe chronic disease. All right, and high level, getting yourself into parasympathetic mode is a lot about the good resting techniques we've talked about. So not doing things that are too stimulating, you want to do things that make you relax, leave you with as much energy or more energy than when you started, hanging out with people who make you feel that way. It's also really good sleep habits, all right? Not getting enough sleep can be very stressful to the body, so we want to make sure that we have really great sleep hygiene. Meditation is fantastic for getting our bodies into parasympathetic dominant mode. I think those would be the big ones. Actually resting properly, doing things that aren't stimulating while resting. So not too much screen time, not listening to too much music, not pushing ourselves to crashing. Yeah, that, and really, really great sleep. I already forget the third thing I said. Oh goodness. Is actually resting, great sleep hygiene. I forget what the third thing I said is, but it's, meditation. Meditation is super fantastic for getting into parasympathetic mode. So it's really just a combination of cultivating habits in those three areas, which I think we talk about all of those time to time. Yeah. All rough. There we go. Breathing properly, like if you do like a breathing meditation, if you do breathing exercises, those are definitely, like JA is saying, really great for parasympathetic activation. Cold showers. Cold showers are tricky for people with severe chronic fatigue. Being cold, actually let me back that up and just say that a lot of people, we talked about this a couple months ago, I know, on the channel. People with severe chronic fatigue often have severe intolerance to heat extremes. So like they are very intolerant to being too cold or being too hot. What happens is that our bodies don't have enough energy to actually modulate our temperature correctly. So being very cold can be very exhausting because our bodies are really working super hard to try to warm ourselves up, and oftentimes we don't get very warm. Or if we're too hot, we tend to really struggle to cool down. Like I know one of my symptoms when I was super severely ill that I didn't sweat. Like I couldn't sweat. My body just wouldn't sweat. It didn't matter how hot I got. I would just feel horrible and get extremely fatigued if I got too hot. It was actually like an interesting moment in my healing journey when I can remember that I got super hot. And I was kind of like, oh man, that's not good. And then I had this like sensation, like I remember like all around my head. And I'm like, what is happening? And I'm like, oh, I'm sweating again. I was like, I haven't sweat in years. Right? Like, it was one of those really profound moments. That was really cool. So if you can tolerate cold showers, that's not too energy depleting for you, that could be a good thing for you to do. But I would say it's not for everybody at this point. So you just kind of need to know if it's something that's worth trying or something you need to stay away from. I think you'll know. I think you'll know by your general reaction to being too cold. If cold showers are a good idea for you or not right now. Oh, Ralph, don't say you stand no chance. Oh, height and attractiveness are only this much of a relationship. All right. They're nice and they're fun, but for any real, sustained, long-term, sweet, loving, respecting, supportive relationship, the bulk of it's over here outside of attractiveness and height. All right. So don't focus on that if you really want to build a long-term relationship. If you don't care about long-term relationships, then don't listen to what I said. I don't know what you want in life. You know, if you really want to be with someone for the rest of your life, then you kind of be willing to be with that person when they're young and attractive as well as when they're, 80 and wrinkly. Lisa has horrible temperature sensitivity. I used to have it fairly. Grass sleeps badly with cold showers, even if you do it in the morning. That's interesting. I wonder what's going on there. The stress of it could be throwing off your circadian rhythm or something, would be my guess, but that's just really a guess. All right, guys, we're over an hour. If there are any more questions that pop up in the chat in the next minute or two, I'm happy to answer those. If not, then I will be coming off. While I give you a chance to type up any more questions you have today, I want to say that I wanted to mention when the next live stream is, and let me just double check my calendar right here, right now. Yes, okay. So, two things. I'm going to be adding in a meditation next week. So I want to live stream the meditation with you. And it's something where it's not going to be Q&A style. We're not going to do Q&A. It's just I'm going to prepare meditation for a specific topic having to do with living with severe chronic fatigue, something that we all struggle with. And I will walk you through a meditation on how to cope with that. And I hope that you would walk through the meditation with me. And then afterwards, whenever that situation comes up in your life, you can just pull this meditation up and walk yourself through it again. Excuse me, I will be doing that Tuesday, October 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Whenever this video is over, I'll be posting the calendar invite link for that, making sure I put it public this time so it works for you guys. And I'm going to see you on that. It's probably going to be like a half hour or so. I'm going to make time for that. And then next Thursday, October 24th, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern, I'll be doing my regular Q&A right here as well. And I will also have the calendar invite link in the description of this video after we wrap up here. And I think that's it. So I think the real big announcement there is that we're doing this again, same time next week, but also adding in a live meditation on Tuesday. And depending on how many people show up and how much interest there is in that and the feedback I get, maybe I'll start doing that with Lisa. So but while I have the time, I'd like to offer that up. All right. Nice meditation. All right, Lisa's pumped for that one. JA, it's weird fruit. So it is, I know you're in the UK, but here in the US, in the fall, we collect gourds in our homes. I have a bunch actually. So this is a squash, like zucchini, or what do they call it? Courgette. I think that in the UK they call them zucchini and courgette. Is a squash. Well, this is actually a hard skin squash, very hard, and these are not edible. They are they're just decorative. But it's a fun, like fall themed, Halloween themed way to decorate your house. I actually have a really cool one right here. I just realized this morning it's starting to go bad. Yeah, you can throw this out after this. What's my thought? Courgette indeed. Autumn ornament. Yes, there you go. That's the way to call it. So since you guys asked, I'll show you the other ones I have here because I like these ones down here. I think these ones are pretty cool. They're pretty huge. And then there's like this big one, pretty colors on it. And I just got in a cool little arrangement over here. My flippers. All right, enough from me. Thank you all for joining. I really enjoyed today's little chat that we got to have, and I'm looking forward to doing this with you again next Thursday, and also leading that meditation on Tuesday. So, maybe like within the next 30 minutes, usually the video processes on YouTube, and then the description shows up, and the links to those 2 events next week will be in there. All right, take care, guys. Sending you love and health. Bye.